Hi,
Omarosa. I'm Clay Kane on the host. Nice to meet you.
We've got until 12:50, so we've got 20 minutes.
Great. I hear some water for you.
Oh, this is for me.
If you need some water.
Somebody left this. Is it okay if I sit here? Thank you.
You can just use Lauren Hill.
Wait,
Oh.
I need to get Candy's attention.
No, I'll let you know. Yeah, have that one ready. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, Carlton, get her attention. I'll call her. I'll text her.
All right. How's your day?
Great day. Although I have to leave early because of this hurricane.
Oh my gosh. South Carolina.
I text her. I don't know if she has her phone now.
Do you want to put the headphones on?
I do.
Oh, okay. I know sometimes with the hair, right? We just had Miss Nina Franklin here, Miss America.
I know. Everybody's saying how lovely she is.
She is.
1 minute. What's your Twitter?
Clay Kane, ClayCane.
Mine is Omarosa.
I think we tweeted you, right? We tweeted, right? Yeah, we copied you. I'm sure you have a lot of notifications.
30 seconds. Robin, can you put this in there? 5 and 10.
Call Clay Kane now at 866-801-TALK. That's 866-801-8255.
Listen, I'm very excited for our guest who's here in the studio, former White House aide, author of Unhinged, New York Times bestseller, Omarosa-Newman. How are you?
I'm so glad to be here, Clay.
Thank you for being here. So, congrats on your third book. This is your third book,
Yes.
New York Times bestseller.
Thank you.
So, in Unhinged, you talk about your journey. You talk about growing up in the projects, experiencing gun violence. You went to 3 HBCUs, right? 3 HBCUs. Yes. So you're clearly a smart woman. So I guess I'm confused. How does someone as smart as you get blindsided by someone like Trump?
Well, that would first of all, I'm glad to be here. That would assume that also the 28 million people who tuned in to us on The Apprentice were also blindsided. You know, I wasn't the only one in America who that Donald Trump was a successful businessman who was running an amazing company and who was a very interesting person, as we saw on The Apprentice. I was duped, but I wasn't alone.
Mm-hmm. But you knew him personally, so
yeah,
I guess
I've known him for 15 years now.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You know, when we think about policy, right? When we think about policy, you talked about the Trump campaign. Give me one piece of policy that Trump had for the black community in 2016 that made you feel like at the time he would be good for our community.
Well, that's the benefit of being at the table. Right now they're making decisions about us without us. But at the time when I was on the campaign, I was able to help formulate the plan, the 10-step plan for Black America. The first thing that we wanted to focus on was economic success. We knew that tax reform was going to be a big part of the administration's agenda, and the 20% tax rate and the impact of that on small businesses. And so the first thing I did within the first couple of weeks was to go over and establish a powerful working relationship with the SBA to make sure that small businesses, particularly minority-owned businesses, were able to take advantage of the tax cuts, but also to help develop the reform that we were going to see. The second thing we talked about was education, which of course is near and dear to my heart. People focus on my work and the HBCU stuff, but in addition to the HBCU funding of getting year-round Pell Grants, I wanted to make sure that there were some infrastructure discussions. have you been to many of the campuses of HBCUs?
Of course.
A lot of them experiencing infrastructure issues, buildings that are deteriorating, piping, roads. All
But
of
what was
that
the
is
policy from
audible.
him during the campaign?
Well, I developed those. That's what I'm going through.
Because I never heard him.
He wasn't smart enough to
He
develop
wasn't
it.
saying that.
You have the way it works is that you have policy advisors who actually outline those things. No, the campaign announced his agenda for Black America, the 10-step plan. They officially announced that after he got his nomination. So no, that was an official position that was put out.
Because when I think about his policy for Black folks, I heard you're living in hell. Why not, give it a chance?
No, you heard his hyperbole. Behind that was a person who grew up in the Black community, Black churches, Black schools, all that, formulating those policies.
Okay.
So no, Donald Trump wouldn't sit down and come up with policy positions. That's why, policy advisors are so important.
And when you talk about being blindsided, go ahead.
But I just want to give you a couple.
Okay,
more 'cause
sure.
It's very important to me. The issues of what was happening in Flint with the water. There are probably 20 or 30 big cities that also have very similar issues to what Flint has in terms of the contamination of water. So I didn't want to just focus on Flint, although we did. I wanted to have a report that was done on the conditions in inner cities of water, purification system, infrastructure, piping, and all of that. So I wasn't just focused on Flint.
But I felt like when you were out there, and if I'm wrong, if we out there on the campaign trail, I wasn't hearing that. It just felt so divisive. It just felt
because you don't get to go out and say, "Look what Omarosa's doing." You go and say, "The Trump campaign is doing this, and the Trump campaign is doing that." I didn't get to go out there and toot my own horn of what I was doing. But the other thing is, people weren't trying to hear it. They immediately shut me down because I was standing next to Donald Trump. The pushback that I got was deafening. Nobody was giving me an opportunity to come sit down with him and talk about the issues that I'm sharing with you. That's why it was so important for me to write my book, to talk about my journey and the things that I did and how I did it. Because when you work for the President of the United States, you say the president did X, Y, Z. You don't get to take credit for the work that you do. And when you work for a candidate, it's the same thing.
So when you talk about being blindsided, this is an important question to me. You campaign with Diamond and Silk. And I truly think they're
they campaigned with me.
They campaigned with you. God, let's be clear. I think they are really dangerous propaganda. What was your impression working for them? Are they sincere, or are they just trying to get attention and make money?
I thought they were nice girls. I mean, I'm never going to knock anybody's hustle. And so if that's their hustle and they want to make money, why knock them?
But do you think it was sincere? Because people feel like it's a joke, it's a gimmick.
No, I mean, it was sincere to them, but I'm never going to knock another sister's hustle. That's not my position.
Okay. All right. You were on April Ryan was on the Karen Hunter show, and you mentioned April Ryan talks about you in her book, and she says that she tried to kill my career, a divorced single mother with kids, that you made up a lie that she received money from the Clinton campaign, and you tried to get her fired. Is that true?
I didn't. The emails came out that showed that she was in conversation about being paid by the Clinton campaign. I didn't come out with that. That came out in the emails with the WikiLeaks. Facts. Facts.
But so you didn't try to get her...
I sent an email to her privately and said, look at what came out on WikiLeaks. Protect yourself. That's what she's talking about. So let's go to facts.
Okay.
And she's the one that put that out there. She put that private exchange out into the public space. But I don't have a beef with her. I wish her well. I mean, I heard she has a project out. I haven't seen much about it. I mean, God bless her. Hopefully people will read it.
So you weren't trying to get her fired at any point?
You can't. That's so ignorant.
That's what she said. That's what she said.
But you can't. She is the White House correspondent for a news organization. How it's so. I mean, it's just so. I don't even know how to respond to such. The perception of ignorance that only her company would deem whether or not she's doing her job or not me. I mean, I'm surprising she gives me that much power in her life, but I didn't have that power. Nor was she even on my radar at all. I like her, so I hope that people will find some benefit in the stuff that she's saying. But I think if you look at our two projects, our books came out around the same time. I'm number one on the bestsellers list.
That's a very Trump line. That's a very Trump line.
No, but you brought her up, so it's fair.
Yeah.
You brought it up because you wanted me to get feedback, and I'm not being shady. I'm number 1 on the New York Times bestseller list. I don't know where she is, but people respond to truth in different ways.
You talk about the bow down moment in Unhinged, and I was speaking to a friend of mine. He said, I will never be able to forgive Omarosa for saying bow down, that it was a very Hitler-esque, Putin kind of comment.
Wow.
Do you regret telling the American people that they will bow down to Trump?
Oh, I expressed that in my book, my regrets for that, but political hyperbole is consistent with that. I mean, maybe he's just never been around politics, but political hyperbole.
But bow down was intense, Omarosa.
No, but have you been around politics?
I have been around politics.
That is not the most dramatic. Let me tell you
but bow down is very dictator. It's very dictatorship.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
fair
so
enough. I'll accept that, but let's just not act like that's the first time you heard something hyper dramatic in politics.
Yeah, but you said it, and you were there as a black woman supporting Black Americans.
And I take full responsibility for that, but I'm not going to be chastised because I was doing what politicians do. What I think is hyperbolic is saying that blacks are super predators.
Well, I critiqued Hillary Clinton absolutely.
So let's acknowledge that that's.
But we're talking
hyperbolic.
about you. we're talking.
Yeah, but everything that I say, I support with facts. I don't just pull it out of the air.
Okay.
Politics is a rough game. If you can't deal with it, don't step in the arena.
Let me ask you this. On Joe Madison's show right here on Urban View, we love Uncle Joe, you said that Trump hit on you. What exactly did he do? What exactly did he say? What was the inappropriate things he said?
It's not uncommon for me to have been on the receiving end and other women in the Trump universe. For Donald Trump is very physical. He grabs you, he'll walk up, he'll kiss you, he'll do whatever. That's what Donald Trump does. Before the Me Too movement, I know it sounds naive, but I didn't know that though. I mean, I've seen women that come forward and say, my boss kissed me on the cheek, hashtag Me Too. I'm like, well, shoot, I'm a Me Too victim too. Because
but what did he do to you? What did he say to you?
I just said that. He grabbed you. He will grab you and say, hey, yeah, and kiss you.
Did he say anything specific to you?
I was just saying what he
you didn't say what he said, so I was wondering what he said specifically that he was hitting on you.
Well, he physically will grab you, kiss you, whether you welcome it or not. Mm-hmm. And not many of us welcomed it. I certainly didn't. Maybe Hope did, maybe others, but I didn't.
You said that you heard the tape of Donald Trump using the N-word.
Yes.
In what context did he use it? What was the sentence with which he used it? Who did he say it about?
Great question. So back in 2016, and I write about this because it was a turning point for me in my relationship with Donald Trump. A producer from The Apprentice sent out a tweet that said, if you think the Access Hollywood tape is bad, wait until you hear the Apprentice tapes. And then he went on to do an interview with NPR, and he said that Donald Trump had said the N-word, he had insulted Jews, this, that, and the other. This is 2 weeks before the election, and as I said, I'd known that man for 13 years. By that point, it planted a seed of doubt and concern for me. We go on to win the election, but the talk about the N-word tape did not die. Other people started coming forward. In fact, recently, Penn Jillette came forward and said, forget the tape. I was in the room when Donald Trump said these things. And so after I did Big Brother, I started working on the book. After I had a chance to go out in L.A., and a person that has the tape reached out to me and allowed me to hear it for myself. And it was in the context, as the producer said, very consistent with Donald Trump, off takes. These were outtakes from The Apprentice, talking and communicating off the cuff. And yes, he used that word.
To who was he talking about?
Well, I've been clear. He was talking in one instance about Kwame, but there were other instances that.
So he was talking about Apprentice cast members.
Yeah.
Okay. In the book, you repeatedly say that part of the reason why you stayed, because the big question is, why did she stay? You said that you wanted to be a voice for African Americans, someone to be at the table. But when I read that in the book, it reminded me what the black pastors were saying, that be at the table. But then I think of folks.
Which black pastors?
The black pastors, John Gray, Alveda King, who's a faith leader, yes, who were at the and they said we have to be at the table. But then I think of someone like LeBron James or DeRay McKesson. They will not meet with Trump. What's the point of sitting with the oppressor? I mean, you can't stop Massa from being racist. So what's the point of sitting with the oppressor if he's not going to hear you?
If every black person quit their job or walked away from a situation because they encountered some form of racism in America, half of us wouldn't be employed and half of us would just stay home. It's naive to think that we need to all be in the Democratic Party.
Of course.
I mean, I think it's very dangerous to assert that no one should be there advising Donald Trump on black issues, which was a thing that was said to me over and over again. They are making decisions about us without us. And that's harmful to our community. The people who believe that no one should be in there should be no black advisors, don't understand that the policies that are being made right now have implications for 10, 15, 20 years down the line. Remaking of the tax code hasn't happened in 30 years? These are implications that our community will feel for a very long time. We need to have someone there. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu, point blank, period.
But you're sitting with the oppressor, though. I mean,
I sit with the oppressor.
you could still do the
I
work.
I sit with the oppressor a lot.
But,
Are you
but
kidding
you,
me?
But you understand
In
why
corporate
someone
America,
like LeBron James.
To you.
Go ahead.
Corporate America is filled with people who oppress us.
But we're talking about the president of the United States.
But babe, you work for SiriusXM.
We're talking about the president of the United States, though. The president, not just
but these are. But let's break this down. These are systems that in their DNA did not want us. Let's not be naive about not understanding what our history is.
Of course.
We just integrated major institutions in the 70s, my friend. So it's not just politics, it's business, it's education. Some of our educational institutions didn't allow African Americans to enroll. So to say you're sitting with the oppressor, I can point out a whole lot of oppressors, and they might be in SiriusXM.
But we're talking
you're
about
working for a white organization too.
We're talking about the president of the United States, who you defended.
You keep saying that, but what's the point? What's your point? Make your point.
Here's my point, Omarosa.
Okay.
I don't believe you. I don't believe that you went in there saying you were going to help, thinking you were going to help black people. I believe that you knew he was a con artist, and I believe you're a con artist as well, and I believe that you were being an opportunist. So, and I'm speaking for a lot of African Americans who call in.
You're speaking for
I
yourself.
I said a lot.
You're trying to make a viral moment, and it's not going to work.
The majority of black women, 96%.
There are people that
I'm just
believe
telling
me.
you, that's fine, but I'm telling you that it appears you were an opportunist.
You're ignorant.
Did you just want the check? Oh, you're calling me ignorant?
Yeah, because my experience is different from yours.
I'm ignorant, but you were sitting with an ignorant racist man for a year.
Yeah, but you're
ignorant. He was your friend for 15 years.
You have an agenda. You want to have a moment. That's cute. But let me respond
I'm asking
to
you fair questions.
Respond?
Sure, go ahead.
So whether you believe me or not, my life is my life.
Sure.
God is the author and finisher of my faith. So your insults don't have any impact on me. God brought me from the projects of Youngstown to sit not with one but two presidents. So whether you believe me or not, that's not going to impact my future because you don't have any impact of my life.
You asked what my point was.
But
you're as problematic as Sarah Huckabee Sanders. How am I being disrespectful?
You want to appeal to clicks, which are cheap.
Omarosa, you've been on reality shows. You've done everything you've done. You want clicks. You want fame, and you were just as problematic.
You don't own it.
You are just as.
That's what makes you so problematic.
Omarosa, you are Sean Spicer. You are Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and you believe because you wrote a book, you're some kind of. No, I'm not. No. That's what you're a part of.
It's turn to the camera.
You were in a. I'm asking you questions.
So cheap and lowbrow. I'm disappointed.
I'm disappointed in you that you defended a racist. I'm disappointed in you that you defended a racist and a sexist.
It's called
That's what I think it is. I'm disappointed in you.
Omarosa.
My Twitter is Clay Kane.
My website is omarosa.com.
I'm asking you fair
questions.
Why me asking? Why me taking you to task? It's a viral moment. Why me taking you? No, it's not cheap.
This is so beneath you. I was expecting an intelligent conversation.
I'm giving you an intelligent
Instead, you
conversation.
tried to disrespect me, but you playing yourself.
I'm giving you're playing. You were in that White House.
We can do a 20-minute conversation.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let me go to another question.
It's for sale on Amazon.
You were on tape. You were on tape. Lynn Patton.
Feel free to go out and
sell
get
the book, just like Trump taught you well. Trump taught you well. You were on. You were on
Barnes and Noble, Target.
Sell it all, Omarosa. Sell it all.
Walmart.
Sell it all, Omarosa. Sell it as you were in that White House. Supreme Court Justice.
We can go cheap.
I'm not going cheap. I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
I thought you were going to have a smart conversation, but you're showing with your Jerry curl that you're so
my Jerry curl. Oh, we're going to talk about hair now. We're going to talk about hair. You're trying to be petty. They're trying to go ahead. Sell it.
Because this is what you're trying to do. You want clicks? Let's do it.
Listen, I care about this country. I care about black folks. You don't because you sat with a racist, sexist president, and you knew he used the N-word.
And see how petty black people don't want to have a conversation.
You're the last person who should talk about petty black people. You're the last person who should talk about petty black people.
My website is omarosa.com.
You are the person. You sold out black folks to make money.
What are you doing right now?
Play the Cheryl Lee Ralph clip.
selling yourself out.
Play the. I know I've
You
done my
gotta
work.
go get somebody to
Play
have your
the shit.
back.
I meet at this church event. And Omarosa, I said, girlfriend, please don't tell me you're doing what? Why? She said, Cheryl, I am going to the White House. I will have an office in the White House. I am riding this train, and I've got a ticket for you if you would like to come along. Oh! And I was like, girlfriend, I'm going to have to miss that train.
So what? So what's your reaction to that? Shirley Ralph said that you that sounds like being an opportunist.
On Amazon,
you don't want to answer what Shirley Ralph said, who's a national treasure?
You can buy the book.
You don't want to answer that?
You are cheap, and what you did is
I'm not
so
being
pathetic.
cheap. Why is it pathetic?
Please watch
I'm
this
holding
clip.
you to task.
Make sure you
I'm
put this
asking you
clip
fair
out because
questions.
It is so cheap.
I am asking you fair. We are having a smart conversation, Omarosa, but you're offended that I'm challenging you.
So my book, which is number one on the New York Times list,
it is. You've sold it well.
Because of people like you.
Because of what's someone like me?
Because you went low. They say when you go low, we go high. But what you decided to do was go gutter.
You were in the Trump administration going low. You were in the Trump administration going low, Omarosa.
We could have had a smart conversation, but
you were in the Trump
decided to make it
administration
like
going low.
this.
I asked you questions about your book. You know what? It seems like you are an opportunist.
Gutter TV.
Omarosa, you want to sell your book, so sell your book. Sell your book, Omarosa. Sell it.
Go to
sell
Twitter,
it. And you know what? As a taxpayer,
Instagram.
I helped to pay your salary like so many other Americans
You ain't pay
did.
my salary, but you can't
all
afford it.
taxpayers did, and I still want to know what you did. I still want to know what you did.
So cheap. I'm so
Omarosa,
disappointed.
I am sitting back. I asked you fair questions. I asked you fair questions in your book. Gutter. Attacking more black folks. You attacked people Ryan. You attacked Simone Sanders. You attacked Robin Roberts. So feel free to attack me. Go ahead. Feel free to attack me, Omarosa.
No reason.
I didn't go off on you at all. No, sure, it's fine. She can leave. I didn't go off on her. I asked her fair questions.
No.
I don't think she.
So I want to post it.
What was cheap to you?
We'll
go, Omarosa.
Can I post this? Can I have permission?
We have plenty. We have plenty of video footage. Omarosa, were you at the White House for the check? Is that why you were really there?
Baby, I didn't need to go on a government salary.
Well, you were there. You were there, Omarosa. You were there.
You're going off because you wanted a moment.
I'm not going, Omarosa. I'm going off. I'm going off because I asked you fair questions. I didn't yell at you. I didn't curse at you. I didn't talk about your personal life. I asked you, how did I come for you? How did I come for you? How did I come for you, Omarosa? You insulted me. You talked about my hair. You talked about black folks. You insulted me. I asked you fair questions. I didn't. No, I don't believe you, and I don't have to believe you. I didn't tell America to bow down. I don't have to believe you, Omarosa. You are clickbait. You have a clickbait book. You can feel free. Write the book. Buy my book as well. It's called Live Through This on Amazon.com. Omarosa, I asked you fair questions. I studied the questions. Omarosa, this is Omarosa Manigault Newman. This is Omarosa Manigault Newman. So she's ready to leave.
Is it a hard close?
Sure. So
I want him to shut it down before I walk out. I'm not leaving out under any condition.
Oh, Omarosa, you don't own my show. You don't own my show. You don't own me. This is the Clay Kane show. You don't own my. Don't tell me what to do, Omarosa. You're upset that I asked you fair questions. You're upset that I asked you fair questions.
And then you play some clip of an actress. At least
Shirley Ralph is a national treasure. I asked you a question. She said that you offered for her to be on the Trump train. She said you offered. Oh, that's gutter. Shirley Ralph is gutter. Okay, Omarosa. Okay, fine. Okay, whatever you say, Omarosa. But you were in that White House. You were in that White House. You were. Now I'm screaming. Now I'm screaming. You were in that White House with the racist president. That's gutter. You were in the White House with the racist president. That is gutter. It's not a matter of what I wanted. I was asking you fair questions. I had a list of fair questions. I had a list of your team's trying to get you to leave. I still have 7 minutes left of the show. I still have people already see you, Omarosa. Folks already see you. And now I'm in the category with Ed Gordon. I'm in the category with Simone Sanders. All the black folks in media you've attacked. All the black folks in media you attacked. So you know what? Yes, there are several. So you know what? Good day. Have a great day. Good luck with Unhinged. Good luck with your bestseller. I look forward to the next book, the next reality show. Sell out as many black folks as you can. Sell them out. Sell them out. Sell them out. Sell them out, Omarosa. Sell them out, Omarosa.
You have a whole audience watching. You have a whole audience watching. I still have 5 minutes left of my show.
Your management.
Look at your team looking at you, shaking their That's my
head.
management.
That's not my management. Okay. I have 5 minutes left. She's still talking. She wants to go as far as she can go.
This is what you call unhinged.
This is as low you go.
This is
You're
what you call unhinged. All right.
Unhinged.
All
You
right.
thought you were gonna play
You don't
what you
have
got
permission
paid.
to post the clip.
I'm posting it,
Okay, well,
bitch.
you don't have my permission. Detective Omarosa strikes again. Video, audio.
Who will survive in America?
Oh my gosh. Good God Almighty. Good God Almighty. Asked her fair questions. Fair questions. Fair questions. Let's see here. Here we go. 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 All right. Good. I said I didn't agree with her. I said I didn't agree that she fell for Trump, and she's upset.